Perfect.
Excellent, and welcome to TADSummit 2024. I'm really excited to have Raj join us. We're kicking off with Raj because he was there in 2013 at the first TADSummit. So I thought it was nice to kick that off now. I've known Raj since Bakrie Telecom, where he headed up their value-added services. He then founded a very interesting company whose time has come with Wootag, and this is adding a ton of value add interaction around video content. And he's, founded another company in 2024. So it seems to be a sort of a decade thing that's happening here with Unlead. But anyway, Raj, I'm really pleased you're here. Please introduce yourself and all your companies.
Perfect. Amazing. Alan, thanks a lot. It's definitely the few reasons I really loved your email when you sent, I literally started Wootag and telling people what I'm doing through your hack, TADHack in 2014.
Yeah.
Literally, that was the first time I shouted out loud saying that, hey, this is Wootag. And wow, I even managed to win something from the TADHack. I was like, wow, if some people likes it, there's probably a far more customers out there who may be interested. You
Exactly.
were really my confidence booster when I was figuring out Wootag. When I got this email and I was starting my second one, I was like, man, this is deja vu. This is perfect timing, right? So welcome on board, Alan. So let's get this going again. The next 10 more years of acceleration for a second one. So it's so perfect timing. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you for considering and having me part of this
Absolutely.
project. Really appreciate all the hard work and the effort you're doing and exactly sticking to the no BS.
That's it.
Not many people out there, and I got to give credits to you for that.
Thank you.
Perfect. So for people who don't know me, myself, Raj, I have a not a 10-year orbiting. I definitely call myself, my life is in an orbit mode. So an engineer by degree, that's your first phase of few decades. And then the next 10 years, I was literally a developer building games. I was very early into mobile and technology as early as 2002, building games, building apps for smartphones, the likes of pocket PCs and those early phones, building an app stores, building bunch of stuff, and hardcore developer of sorts. And then the next 10 years, I was 100% product guy. Okay, great. Engineering is amazing, but how can I solve a problem? How can I create a business aspect to that, problem solving? How can I create a P&L around it, right? So it was all, converting your engineering hat into a product hat into a business hat into can a business scale beyond just the initial wins or loses? Can you create a persistence around it? So that was the whole journey. When I did it, then as part of my corporate, then that's the time I met up with Alan and a bunch of other folks. Then while that time I had an idea, which is called as Wootag. That idea was very simple. It wasn't started to solve a big problem. It was started, I was fascinated about a problem. I was watching a movie. I liked the sunglasses in it. And I thought, what's so fun is to tap, click, touch right within that video and buy the glasses instead of going and searching it online. That was the whole initiative, right? So that's how Wootag originated. And that orbiting for the last 10 years has been so amazing in terms of solving different orbits of problems. While we're doing it, we had our own problems, and that's where Unlead started, which is what I'm going to talk about. So it's literally, it's a way we don't realize it, but we technically orbit something around a purpose of life. And
Exactly.
if you find it, that's amazing. If you don't find it, you are orbiting. You just need to figure out a way to identify that. Like Alan, you have an amazing orbit of TADSummit, TADHack, and I'm sure evolving, and that's your orbit, right? And my orbit is Wootag and Lead, and what I'm going to build from there.
Excellent.
So that's where this is the orbit, right? So
yeah,
when we started, it was just an idea of the problem. Like, wow, great glasses, how can I get it? And then that was video being the central pillar around it because
Mhm.
the consumption I predicted at 2013, 2014,
Yeah.
fast forward, the amount of people going to be on the internet is going to quadruple. The amount of
Yeah.
people who are going to be consuming information through a video instead of reading or watching few stills.
Yeah.
Video is going to take a central pillar. So that was the vision, and we were 100% accurate to that
Yep.
thought process. When we took that vision, the orbit moved around what we call as your product market fit, an ideal goal from product market fit to a $1 million ARR. And then your orbit of COVID, it's an interesting orbit for lot many companies. It changed, the industry as we know it
Yes.
to an extent. And then our rebound as an orbit, we call it an Wootag 3X, right? And while we're doing it another orbit, which is Unlead.ai. So right now, I'm literally double heading between the rebound of Wootag to a 3X in terms of acceleration, as well as doing the repeat of product market fit and creating a new TAM from an Unlead.ai perspective. So, which is where the journey from starting up to scale up to startups
Yeah.
is what my orbit has been in this process.
Cool.
And, when we started WooTag in 2015, it was not an immediate need.
Yeah.
Nobody out there raising a hand saying that, oh, I'm looking for a product like this. Thank God you are there. You know, there's no problem. There's no problem, right? So the problem is because there was not much of video creation. The traditional marketing was television and few of the social spends. There are multiple hops of validation,
Yeah.
within an organization from a stakeholders. So what we then need to do is few things which we really undermine, and a lot of times when people start company or scaling up, we'll end up doing like, okay, I want to do 20 things, 30 things, like, we want to do everything that has to scale.
Yeah.
I really liked the Paul Graham's YC code, which is doing things that don't scale. It was exactly what we did. What GTM was is, okay, I'm just going to take one brand, which could be a consumer packaged goods. We
Yep.
sell to them. The next sale, we will not sell to them. We'll end up selling into an automobile. Next
Yep.
sale, we will not sell to an automobile. We'll end up selling to a finance. So what will happen is we are not synonymous to a single brand, single vertical. So we wanted to make sure that it can be unanimous to multiple brands.
Yeah.
And then we looked at saying that I have like three customers in a country. Can I able to replicate in another country? Right,
Yep.
instead of scaling it. So we
Mhm.
we definitely looked at least the first 2.5 years in terms of things. We wanted to make sure that we have a solid product market fit, revenue
Yeah.
generation, price point validations, and stuff like that. And then we also want to make sure that, focus on few brands and markets and defining what's your North Star metric. So it was literally took some time to
Yeah.
defining these core pillars.
Yeah.
That led us to this phase where we literally went from a product market fit validation to an annual revenue run rate of $1 million. So
Yeah.
that kind of gives you saying that, okay, great, you crack the GTM code. We know who we need to sell to, who's our ideal customer persona, what's the partner-led strategy is going to be, who
Yeah.
are the likely partners we need to do it, what the pricing is going to be, what market. So we kind of felt we cracked that code, and we
Gotcha.
are on a how we go trajectory.
And what verticals did you find were most receptive to,
Yeah.
using their video and selling through their video?
Sorry, this
No,
is
it's okay.
happen. Just gonna close this one. Yeah, perfect. Let's close this. Okay. Yes.
There you go.
So your question was, so I think it's a very good question. So what we did is we kind of looked at any brands that are actively in the market generating videos and
Yeah.
have a product. So we looked at our first thinking principles. Who's the
Yeah.
likely person who's going to buy the product? Who has the pain point? Who has the
Yeah.
pain point?
Yeah.
The one who's spending money in creating these videos. Great. And what are they going to do with those videos? They are not in the business of generating revenues from YouTube or
Mhm.
any other platform. They are in the
Yeah.
business of generating money when someone buy their product.
Yeah.
Great. That's where we went to. It could be your consumer packaged goods, which traditionally, if you see the whole marketing spend, they tend to contribute like 50, 60% of the global marketing spends.
Yeah.
We looked at automobile. We looked at finance as a vertical. We looked at travel and tourism, as a vertical. And these are the ones who are actively generating those content and
Yeah.
wanting to drive revenues out of those. So that's what our low-hanging fruit, and some of these
Gotcha.
verticals I mentioned. And they were, when we went to them and instead of selling a product through technology wires,
Hmm.
we made our sales process very simple. So what we did is we went and took one of their existing videos from YouTube or Facebook. We
Yeah.
uploaded on platform, converted into an experience, what they can understand, and
Yeah.
we mailed them saying that, hey, this is your video and this is your Wootag version. We literally from day
Gotcha.
zero, we started Wootag as a verb. Here is
Yeah.
your Wootag video. When they saw it, the questions were pretty clear. Like, okay, they understood the product extremely
Yeah.
easy. Clear. This is what it is. Now tell me, how can I use it? Where can I use it? How
Yeah.
much I should pay for it? And then it went through that motion. So this process got us close to 100 plus brands. We literally streaming videos almost close to 500 million plus,
Yeah.
trillions of audience insights being processed. And that gave us a strong foot in the market where people
Gotcha.
started knowing us. Here is a technology to drive interactivity and insights.
Yeah.
So that's what we took the stand. And while we were taking it, we were also focused on two things. We wanted the best customer success. We don't want um, where people worry about, oh, what's happening? When can I go live? How
Yeah.
fast it can go live? We literally operate reverse engineered for time to market. We reversed engineered for experience. We reversed engineered for feedbacks. We reversed engineered for optimization. So
Gotcha.
people today buy our product for a few reasons. One of the reason being is it's an amazing team to collaborate with, from
Hmm.
a customer success perspective,
Yeah.
etc. The other thing we were extremely mindful of is a lean organization. We still don't have a setup where there's one person delegating into 20 people. So we have like technically a bunch of amazing folks who can be or who are in autopilot mode. They're not micromanaged. They know when to call the shots, how to do things. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the combination of the go-to-market plus the customer success focus, the lean setup, literally
Gotcha.
had the direct contribution towards the $1 million,
Hmm.
you know, ARR. Um,
Gotcha. Now, balance, because now you're enabling interaction with the video.
yeah,
Now, is it sales through that interaction? But you've mentioned insights. So is it actually collecting customer feedback? So it's not
yeah.
necessarily a sales tool, more a customer feedback gathering tool. I'm just interested on the balance of how your brands are using the tool.
No, it's a great question, Alan. So we call it three things of WooTag, what it does brilliantly very well. One is ability to engage the audience through
Yeah,
this interactive experience, number
yeah,
one. Number two is what we call as a behavioral platform. We call it WooTag Intent. What
okay,
it does is imagine, you represent a sports brand
yeah,
and you engaging with me as a user and you wanted to understand saying that what sport I play or follow. Let's say I play tennis and I follow tennis. Great,
mhm,
that's the data. And which means the next time I bump into a brand, the brand can resonate to me more from a tennis perspective,
gotcha.
which has a likely chance of my sales engagement to a bunch of loyalty factors. So I think what we looked at is engage, build behavior, and personalize for outcomes. And that's the three pillars which we built it. And what we also looked in the market is there's no single repository of behavioral data.
Yeah,
Behavioral data relies on when someone visit a site. I may visit a site by mistake or I bounced off after a few seconds. It
yeah,
may still classify me, I'm interested in something, but in reality, I'm not.
mhm,
So how can you build a behavioral data structure which keeps updating as my behavior evolves?
yep.
That's what WooTag has built for brands. So when someone
Ah,
buys into us, they buy it for the engagement, the
gotcha.
behavior, and what can I do with it to drive my outcomes through personalization. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, that's clear.
Yeah. So the impact of COVID, we were super mindful of the data. One thing when we looked at is saying that, yeah, people are back homes,
Yeah.
nobody's out there, no sports, no entertainment, no dining out, nothing literally,
Oh,
and
yeah.
maybe the online education binge watching were the only
Yeah, that's true.
options out there. And obviously your Zooms of the world for working,
Yeah.
collaborating. Anything other than that, it took its back seat, right?
Hmm.
So when we did that, we had a slash in marketing spends, and it wasn't easy. We definitely looked at the buyer process transition from, meeting face to face to buy a product was as engaging on a remote model wasn't easy. The sales
Yeah.
process literally needs to evolve,
Yeah.
right? And it's still evolving. So that's the biggest challenge, and there are a few other challenges what we also bumped into is when you do a remote model, you do these Zoom calls, you do these Teams calls, etc. One pattern which we saw is people are not necessarily turning on the camera because for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Uh, the number of questions they asked was limited. So you
Hmm.
you run a session like an encrypted black box with no clue who's interested, would they be buying my product, would they be engaging with me, would they renew me? Nothing,
Yeah.
right? So these are the problems which we kind of bumped into. So then what we said is, okay, instead of focus on acquisition, let's focus on repeats. We had a good customer success. Let's leverage that, right? While we're amplifying it, we amplified further on the North Star metrics. What is it, when someone considers Wootag, what does it stand for?
Yeah.
Let's deliver that value. And we also looked at structuring our efforts towards a decentralized approach. The whole
Yeah.
markets were decentralized. People are asked to work from home. People are asked to work from wherever you are.
Yeah.
So, which means a centralized structure from a sales process marketing doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
Even it doesn't work right now, still
Yeah.
not 100% there. So, these are the three things we have to tweak as a business to be able to, hang tight,
Yeah.
optimize costs so that you don't give up, right? Because the
Yeah.
potential is there. So we literally need to tweak a bunch of stuff. And we see companies where like, okay, it's COVID, we just give up,
Yeah.
right? We definitely wanted to hang in there and make an impact. So we did all of the stuff and then we started growing. When we started growing, this is where the rebound come in, where
Oh,
we look at moving away from, what do you call like a 1x to now a 3x growth,
yeah.
right? So we looked at personalization, people, focus countries, India, MENA, North America, any visuals, not just video. So we tweaked few of the other stuff, also
Gotcha.
data. So now we are back to growth,
Yeah.
literally having a hockey curve effect as we
Interesting.
focused on this year and growing. So we should be able to have a big swing for Wootag in this year, at least forecasted to be 75 to 125 percentage growth year on year,
Hmm.
and accelerating it from there. So that is where the Wootag rebound has been. While we were doing it, I said, during the COVID, we had these problems. The sales
Hmm.
problems were, let's say, Alan, I'm selling a product to you, all right? And I'm going to send you an email. I'll make a call to you, and then I will meet you. Broadly, these are the three process, right?
Hmm.
And if I'm not in the same destination of yours, which is what the most likely sales, which is into
Yeah.
mid-market enterprise, my engagement with you is either over a call and an email.
Yeah.
Let's say it takes 19 touch points before you decide, hey, Raj, let me buy your product, of
Yeah.
which 83% of them is over an email or a message,
Yeah.
right? How would I know you are engaging with the information I'm sending you? I have no clue besides email opens or
Yeah.
site visits. So
Yeah.
that's one problem. The second problem is when I get you and your team on the call, like you said, people don't turn on the camera, no ask questions asked.
Yeah.
So how can I decrypt that? That's where this Unlead kind of kicked in, the launch of
Ah.
Unlead.ai. So Unlead.ai started in a manner that, let's say, I'm going to share my screen. Um, this is my Unlead dashboard.
Hmm.
Um, I can go in here. Let's say I identified a contact of any company. Let me
Hmm.
just go here. go to Alan. Just go Alan.
There you go.
So let's say I'm going to sell you a product, right? So I'm just, you see this here, save lead. I'm just going to
Yeah.
save you as my lead. Great, you're saved. Now I go to my platform. Here you go. Alan is he's the owner,
Yeah.
business and sales development. Click. Brilliant. Alan at alanquile.com. I got his email ID.
Yeah.
Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to go here and just say, hey, my I want you to personalize a video for Alan. So if I click this, it tells me what product you want to sell him. Let's say I want to sell him Unlead. Let's proceed.
Yeah.
So the platform is going to say that how Unlead.ai could help Alan Quile Service and Dell expand its both business, etc. to emphasize. So what it'll do is it'll generate a video using my platform to say that, okay, generate it. It has the elements of AI. It'll pick the information, so what you are sharing it online.
Yeah.
And come back to you saying that, hey, Alan, here's a 30-second video which will help you sell your product better. So it took literally 5 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello, Alan Quayle.
It also calls out your name automatically.
Yeah.
So when this video goes out to you in your inbox or your message, it's like 100% personalized.
Yeah.
Unlead.ai offers cutting-edge tools designed to accelerate business growth and development for Alan Quayle. With Unlead.ai, streamline operations, ensuring increased.
So technically, the platform is going to personalize a messaging in the form of video.
Yep.
And that can be sent right from here to your email.
Yep.
Let's say you're sending newsletters, right? So you can technically, instead of sending text newsletters, you can now going forward start sending video newsletters.
Yep.
But you have it's 30 seconds. You don't need to spend a lot of time. Just watch it. And you just go from here, and you can even let the AI compose your email. Save time, just move things from there. Or I have a WhatsApp group which you have created for TADSummit, share the video right in there and get people engaged in it. And you have your inbuilt CRM, which says that, okay, how many organizations I engage with, how many deals I'm going to close that. Everything is video-led CRM. And last but not the least is you have a full-fledged scoring engine, which scores by people you're selling to, which scores the email people are accessing, how are they engaging with your emails, and then far more in terms of a buying process. So this is one of the platform. The same platform also gives you, like, this call, I can run it as live stream. Thanks to your education of WebRTC. That time I wasn't clear, but now I'm 100% clear. What should use WebRTC? Thank you again.
You're welcome.
So we literally build a live streaming engine for webinars and sales workshops where people are okay to be not on the camera. They don't need to ask questions. The platform will ask questions. It'll generate an AI summary. It'll configure for outcomes.
Cool.
You can do personalized screen recordings. You can record a video right now, and then it'll automatically create different names. So it's got multiple things. That's what it is all about.
And just a warning, we've only got 4 minutes left.
Yeah. I think we are done. So
excellent. Cool. So that's very interesting in the progression from what you built with Wootag, and then providing the tools to help in using that. So what are usually the typical interactions you build around? I mean, I know you cover multiple visual content, but say a video. I remember you were demonstrating how you can sorry, that was me with a WhatsApp call. What is some of this? Is it like you have it like a pop-up? I'm just trying to understand the sort of interactivity you're building around some of the visuals.
Yeah, so the interactivities are pretty, there's no pop-ups which will show up. It's very non-intrusive.
Gotcha.
It just highlights what you wanted to know in terms of the experience. It's something like this where you have the video playing. It'll highlight certain informations like this. If you wanted to click here, you can just tap in here to learn more information. So it's
gotcha.
It's less intrusive,
Okay.
but more engaging. Yeah.
Yep, no, I understand. Keep it simple, as always.
Yeah.
And then you're building the
Exactly.
tools around
Yeah.
that to help
Yeah.
people in terms of tracking. And it's interesting, using LinkedIn, so you can grab the data and then build something specific for that particular target. So
Yeah.
okay. Oh, sorry, I've got people joining in. There you go. Sorry, that's just getting hassled by a number of people there. So that's cool. So and again, uh, I'm really happy that we were there for you as you were building out the Wootag proposition. This is
Yeah.
really interesting with Unlead as well. And it's really
Yeah.
interesting to see that sort of integration between what you've built with Wootag and how you're
Yes.
taking it forward to help your
Yeah.
existing clients. So I
Yeah.
guess I'll just come back to one question as I asked towards the beginning. So if I were to say, who's your typical customer at the moment? How would you define it?
Yeah. So the typical customer persona is sales teams, marketing teams,
Gotcha.
customer success teams. These are the three
Understood.
people who are
Okay.
engaging to a buyer, a marketer
Okay.
engaging with an audience, a customer success
Okay.
team engaging with customers with three different objectives,
Yep.
where 83% of the time they're engaging through emails or messages. This is a perfect platform to help them engage the right way, value selling, have the intent data stronger.
Excellent. Nope, that's great. So we're coming up on time. So again, Raj, I'm so pleased you were able to join us. Thank you so much for this excellent presentation.
Thanks for having me.
And hey, no problem. And hopefully you can get some leads from
Yes.
as people see what you've built on top of Wootag with Unlead. So again, thank you so much, Raj.